Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, did I miss that? I sure did. Oh, I need to tidy that up a bit. All right. No worries. I got it. I got it. All right. All right, let me try that one more time. I got to bring the slides up once again because that ain't ready yet. All right, try it one more time. Get rid of that. That should work. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Jacqueline Rippey, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being first. Hello to Mary H, NJ, Mama Janet, Lydia Washington. Who else is here? Bunny Rose, and a bunch of other people. By the way, I am reasonably certain that we shan't be here for more than an hour. Somewhat certain. And the sooner we get started, the better. Get to me the sooner or later. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. That, of course, is simply read. Holding, holding. Okay. Holding back the years, thinking of the fear I had so long. When somebody's near. Okay, we're ready. There we go. The blame game. Who are they blaming? Oh my goodness. Seems like Natasha. They're gonna well, it just seems like they are going to, what was that Harry called it? A good old fashioned institutional stitch up. The good old fashioned institutional stitch up. We'll see. It's all alleged, of course. Hi, Antoinette Kennedy. At 60.1 million, the Baby Mama's Dance just keeps on growing. Yes, 60.1 million views on Instagram, the Baby Mama's Dance. That's right. BYMAMA. Wait, BYB. Oh, never mind. Never mind me. I'm multitasking. All right. You know what? I think I'm going to save that. I like the way that came out. This goes out to all my baby's mamas. I got love for all my baby's mamas. All right. So again, it's been over 60 million views for the Baby Mama's Dance. And of course, 4 million subscribers for Meghan's Instagram. And what else is significant? Anyway, things are onward and upward. That's the important things, is that it's growing. Hey, Legs and Felton LaShawn, thank you so much for being here. What could I say? That delicious Napa Valley rosé. There are more and more people adding photos to the interweb every day. I love this one with those huge flowers. What are those? I don't know what those are. But, and check out that wine glass. Is that elegant or what? That is a very elegant glass. I love the shape of it. Hydrangeas. Hydrangeas. Thank you. Hydrangeas. Not hydrangeas. It's hydrangeas. Hydrangeas. Thank you very much. Those are beautiful. And let's see. I kind of feel like we've seen the one on the left before, but the one on the right, nice and chilled. You see the way the frost is kind of clinging to the glass? Chill evening in our happy place. It sure is. It sure is. I cannot wait to get mine. Yes, I cannot wait to get my rosé. Oh my goodness. I ain't going to be feeling nothing. Of course, we're going to sip and savor the taste. This guy, Adam Glassman, he works with Oprah, I believe, and he gave a nice review. The drink of the summer, delicious, crisp hint of stone fruit. What is stone fruit? Let me see what a stone fruit is. I keep seeing that, and I have no clue what that is. Stone fruit. Okay. Stone fruit. What is stone fruit? Also known as drupes, are fleshy fruits that contain a hard, stony pit or stone in the center. The pit encloses the seed. Common examples include, peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries, and apricots. Yeah, I didn't know that. I keep hearing stone fruit, and I'm just like, is there something I haven't tried before? Huh. Fleshy exterior with a hard, stony pit. Well, is that limited to fruit? Because I could think of something else that has a very fleshy exterior, and I'm just reasonably certain it contains a crusty, hard, stiff, what do you call it? Petrified, putrid, like crusty center. I'm almost certain that if you were to open up and take a look inside, you'll find that there is a stone where the heart is supposed to be. This person has no heart. I can assure you of that. And then, of course, the fleshy part. I mean, you've never seen so many layers of flesh. One layer on top of the other, just flesh and more flesh. Now, whose flesh it is unclear because what do they call it? The night walkers or the night crawlers or whatever those creatures of the night that go out and body snatcher. Yes, I could see her like being some type of Victorian body snatcher, going around robbing cemeteries and selling the cadavers to the medical schools of the day. I could see her doing that. Yeah. My Parker Bowles. I can see her doing that. Just fleshy and ugh. Let me stop. There may have been someone having a meal or something at this hour. Okay, so Adam Glassman, let's see what he has to say. What say you, Adam? What say you?
We're enjoying our rosé from As Ever. It is delicious. So thank you, Meghan. Thank you, As Ever. It has a slight stone fruit flavor. It's really good, perfect for the summer. And they're going to be restocking soon, so you can get it before summer's end.
Oh, okay. So that was a bit of a buffering. So let's try that again.
We're enjoying our rosé from As Ever. It is delicious. So thank you, Meghan. Thank you, As Ever. It has a slight stone fruit flavor. It's really good, perfect for the summer. And they're going to be restocking soon, so you can get it before summer's end. Here.
Okay. I just trust him for some reason. If he says it's good, I believe him. Oh man, I got something to share with you very, very soon. I cannot wait to share it with you. Lex says hydrangeas change colors based off soil acidity. Really? I had no idea about that. Now, is that a bulb? Is that like something that is a bulb? And let's say you move into the house midsummer or something like that, and they're gone for the season. You just don't even know you have them. Like they say, when you move into a new home, you really shouldn't disturb anything for the first year just to see what's growing over the year. Um, had that experience years ago, but I don't think we had hydrangeas. We had gladiolas, I think. We had a bunch of gladiolas and they were beautiful. Had no idea what those things were, and they were coming back every year. Eventually I figured them out. But yeah, those are beautiful. And I think they come up in the spring. So the acidity affects the color. Thank you so much for sharing that. I have learned something new today. There's nothing like a plant that likes to do acid, right? Let me see. Some things have exoskeletons. Not all have hearts. Well, thank you for that too. Again, I have learned something today, but yeah. Well, with Camilla, you can't tell if it's exoskeleton or not. Um, because it's such a thick hide, whatever it is. It's just, I'm sure it's like Kevlar. Oh man, thank you very much for that. Okay, again, that was Adam Glassman, and that is what he has to say about the As Ever Rosé. Uh, As Ever official, this is Meghan. Summer afternoons, mint tea, and the sweetest company. Yes, hi Mia. That is Mama Mia. Hi Mia. Um, you guys should know that I heard someone earlier on Spaces, their husband tried the mint tea and he thought it was the best thing ever. He said it was the mint was like nothing he had ever experienced before. So if you like a minty beverage, um, what is that they make in the summertime? Is it mint juleps? I've never had that before, but I wonder if I can make that with the mint tea. I'm going to try to get some, right? And then I'll try that. But will the mint tea work for that? Mint juleps? Does that have rum or what is it? I know it's something sweet, right? And then you put like you clip some mint and you put that inside, I think, the glass or whatever. Yeah, I've always heard of it, but I've never had one. But yeah, I'd like to sit up under a magnolia tree and sip a mint julep and discuss the important affairs of the day. I reckon. Um, okay, so that's that. This is a good old fashioned establishment stitch up. That is what Harry said. Now, one of the things that I believe caused this, whatever you want to call it, a summit, a meetup, negotiation. Not sure exactly what applies, but we're going to take 3 minutes and listen to Harry speak.
Bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point, and the things I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So, you know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children my homeland. There is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary and to carry out an RMB. That said, there is this all was initiated under a previous government. There is now a new government. I have had it described to me, once people knew about the facts, that this is an good old-fashioned establishment stitch-up, and that's what it feels like. There have been disagreements, differences between me. This current situation that has been ongoing for 5 years with regard to human life and safety is the sticking point. It is the only thing that's left. Of course, some members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book. Of course, they will never forgive me for lots of things. But you know, there is. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. You know, he won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile. As I learned through the First Nations throughout Canada, because of the Invictus Games, their goal in life was always truth and reconciliation. And I turned around to them in many conversations and I said, right, but reconciliation can't come without truth. Well, I've now found out the truth. I've shared some of it with you today. A lot of it exists out there, whether people choose to ignore it or not. You know, so it would be nice to have that reconciliation part now. If they don't want that, that's entirely up to them.
Okay. Sorry about that. That was a message that come blaring through. So that is what Harry said, that he's hoping to have reconciliation, truth and reconciliation. There can be no reconciliation without truth. Just like they say, you cannot have love without trust. You cannot have reconciliation without truth. And there's so much that Charles could have done that he chose to not get involved, which the best way he can get involved is not get involved at all, but just to signal to the proper governing body to act independently. If they're not acting independently, if they are acting with members of Charles' household staff, then that is a huge conflict of interest. That is a huge conflict of interest, which is why he chose the language good old-fashioned stitch-up. It's just that simple. Let's see. Anna Boyd, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, by the way, if I was supposed to mail something off for someone today, I have done that, and it should probably make it by Wednesday or Thursday. But yeah, if I would, I'm not saying I did, but I'm just saying if I was supposed to, then I did, and it's on the way. Yeah, there you go. All right. Next one. So, selfish brat with a pushy wife, and he can't be trusted. I know exactly why he's suddenly so desperate to claw his way back into the royal fold and what the king needs to do next. This is why nothing can get done. This is exactly why. Because they know that uh, Charles and William, they live and die by that paper, by those papers. The sun rises and set according to when the papers tell them that the sun is going to rise or set. They do too much briefing through these papers. And some things are so specific, it's hard to know what comes from the palaces and exactly what is coming from the royal reporters, or if there's any influence from the editors who has to, in theory, approve whatever it is the royal reporters write. Um, therein lies a huge problem. It's the leaking and the briefing, right? And of course, it was only going to be a matter of time before they accused the Sussexes of having leaked anything about that meeting. I'm going to be very biased and say I believe the Sussexes. And as much as the Royal Rota, whether they believe it or not, they are still going to side with the institution. They always have and they always will. It is so rare that they step outside of their remit, their royal, their invisible contract. It's very rare that they step outside of that. It's pretty much as though they're speaking directly from the palaces and they're speaking directly to the palaces. Hard to know which is which, but yet you can rest assured that there's just certain things that you can handpick out of those headlines that is actually the palace briefing about something they want to enact or they want to change or they're trying to send a warning. And they do that to each other. Just like the whole thing about Kate needs to get a job. I believe that the Queen was not going to confront Kate directly. I believe that no one on her staff was going to get in Kate's face because, William would have a fit. I believe that the Queen made comment about it, and then her courtiers did the rest. They began to brief the papers about the Queen's concern about Kate's lack of work ethic. I do believe that that was for an audience of one, and that was for Kate Middleton to change her ways before the wedding day or, before the engagement or whatever goes any further. You need to change your ways. And you know how they always say, oh, the Queen had a hunch about Meghan. Oh, she thought this or that about Meghan. I tell you what, they only got quotes from the Queen post-mortem. This is the only place they got quotes for the Queen. They're quoting the Queen about her name. They're quoting the Queen about what she thought of Meghan and all that kind of stuff. But the Queen is dead. However, the Queen was quite alive when they were making these assessments from Buckingham Palace. That's the difference. I think I'd believe the ones where the Queen was alive and there was no protest, as opposed to the Queen either terminally ill or dead, and all we have is a bunch of machinations from those royal reporters. I don't trust that. That's putting the what do you call it? The cart in front of the horse. Too late. Should have done it while she was alive. But yeah, if it's something that they find outrageous or whatever, they'll call the papers and have them change the headlines. They didn't do that because that was from the Queen. The Queen did not like Kate. She did not like that work ethic. And now the family is stuck with her and working just a couple times a month. So Sarah Vine is not a credible witness to anything. She makes up stuff just like the rest of them. And she is definitely a royalist and a monarchist. She eats at their table. She spends time in their homes. She drinks from their cupboards or wherever they keep the booze. Whatever the case is, that is what she does. So you cannot expect her to be objective or impartial in any way. Isn't it interesting that these bitter Bettys that are facially challenged and have unfulfilled love lives tend to attack Meghan, yet they want sympathy in their own lives and pretend it's their job? Yes, they always fall back on they have a job to do. LDSW, top of the morning to you. Thank you for being here. So take a look at this. The Secret Harry Peace Summit, King Charles and Duke of Sussex senior aides, I think, senior aides have held a secret peace. Yeah. Okay, and then of course King Charles and Prince Harry's aides meet in secret. King and Prince Harry aides hold secret summit. You see there, everybody's talking about it. Same with the Mirror. What is that? IBC? LBC. Yeah, and those other two. So, the Courier. What is that one? Whatever post. But yeah, but take a look. Now, I didn't want to identify the squatty because it's someone that I haven't really been following that. Anyway, I sometimes I just choose not to. But this is from someone from social media says, the Royal Rota reporting on this means they're desperate for Harry to come back. They still don't want Meghan and the kids in the UK. The royal family desperately need the Sussexes as a distraction because Willie and Kate's marriage is on life support. And everybody knows it. Their marriage is on life support, but I have to tell you, I am so impressed at their PDA game that they're playing. This PDA game that they are playing is actually very impressive. If I didn't know the full story, I would think that they were two of the stiffest, most boring people that ever lived, but I would not necessarily clock that they are play acting, but we know they are. We know absolutely they are play acting. Every so often, the mask is let slip and the real Kate and Willie comes out. But they have been doing a stellar job by pretending to be the Sussexes. They have. They've done a great job. They have managed to fool some people. Truly. Now, Royal Family Live, it says Harry and Meghan deny leaking details of Secret King Peace Summit, the meeting which involved the King's Communications Secretary and Prince Harry's U.S. PR chief was described as informal drinks rather than formal negotiation. Also over here, same thing. Prince Harry's team has angrily denied being behind the leak of the secret peace summit between senior aides of the Sussexes and King Charles. including the location and the timing, nature of meeting. They did not do it. They did not do it. This is the stitch up. This is a stitch up. Agree to the meeting and then just totally throw the Sussexes and their people under the bus. Agree to the meeting or ask for the meeting, whichever applies. I really don't know. However they met, the Sussex team met at a time and a place, right? And everybody acted accordingly. It was very cordial from all outward appearances. It seemed to be very cordial, but yet it was just a matter of time before the palace began to sing like Aretha Franklin. Prince Harry claims the palace leaked stories about him and Meghan to the press. Well, look at that. That is from 2022. He pinpoints the moment he realized what was going on in episode 5 of Harry and Meghan. Charles' history of selling Harry and William out to the tabloids was revealed in 2015 documentary. So back in March of 2021, that was when they updated that. And of course, we know that with Mark Bolan and Godzilla Parker Bowles, that's exactly what's happened. There's been so many times when the press were able to use Harry and his brother to, to get stories that were sometimes incredibly helpful in reforming Camilla's reputation and, of course, that of Charles' reputation. That stuff didn't just happen by chance. It was all planned. It was all according to plan. So, you guys said the other day that this negotiation, well, not all of you, some of you said that it was a bad idea, or that you didn't want the Sussexes to, try to iron out anything. And I really respect that. And based on this, how could you say otherwise? I mean, you have to respect that because there is just so much evidence, overwhelming evidence that says you cannot trust those people. You cannot trust those people. But there's two ways you cannot trust someone. You can not trust them and keep them close. You know how they say, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer? Sometimes that's necessary. It is. But it just comes down to what is your taste when it comes to these things? Do you want to keep them close so you'll know, when things are changing, when attitudes are going south or whatever? Or do you just want to cut them off completely? I'm not happy with that last one because they're just such dangerous people. And whether you're talking to them or not, they're still leaking and briefing. They're still doing things like telling foreign governments to not give you any type of security protection when you visit. Now, the way that reads for me is frightening, especially coming from my own father's staff, which is just as good as coming from my father. Using undue influence on foreign governments, appealing to them to treat you as though you're not a member of the royal family, as though you're not from one of the wealthiest countries on the face of the earth, that you haven't served in the military, that you and your family may be under some type of security risk. They've decided to just forego all of that and say, don't give them any security. Don't help them. Who does that? Charles. Lex says they don't want Meghan and the kids there because Meghan always gets the most attention. They know she is the most popular royal. They know that the kids will be equally popular. Damn right they will. Antoinette Kennedy says they have to be stupid as hell to think for 1 minute Harry will leave his family to get bullied, mistreated by the royals, by that family that is, again, who keeps blocking or provide them with security. Thank you very much. Yeah, they put it out because they want to blame Harry and Meghan. Lex says the palace did this, yet pretend as if they don't know who did it. The leaking, we all know there are no leaks in Montecito, yet as soon as the palace is involved, the press is there. Yeah, the one reporter said she was told to look out for it. She was told to, and it was not a friendly reporter either. It was, one that is unreliable as far as I'm concerned. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's true. They're not mentioning the fact that the guy representing Charles happens to be a former Daily Mail person. Let me see. Maybe there needs to be both Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. These people are in fear of William and Kate becoming king and queen. Maybe Charles doesn't have long. Yeah, I mean, even though they won't tell us what type of cancer he had, and even though he seems to be somewhat fit, I mean, you don't know how these things are going to go. We don't even know what kind of treatment he's having. We don't know the kind of treatment. We don't even know the kind of illness. We just take them at their word. Hey, soul brother. All right. So King backs Harry's peace talks. So let me get this right. They leak in secret. The Sussexes deny, but the king backs Harry peace talk. I don't know how true that is. AIDS summit is a significant moment, but huge obstacles remain. Well, I mean, in a way, you have to admit that if the meeting happened at all, and especially considering the man that they sent to have the meeting, in all likelihood, Charles did approve of it. But I was thinking, well, it's not out of the realm of possibility that maybe the adults wanted to appeal to the Sussex's people for a meeting without knowledge from Charles. But chances are they were in it from start to finish. King Charles, Prince Harry thaw begins, but William will never forgive. Now, this, of course, July the 13th. So, yeah, this was day before yesterday. Day before yesterday. I don't care how you slice it. It just seems like William is Johnny-come-lately, and he just wants to try to center himself in this, whatever this is, even though it doesn't have much to do with him. This is between the king and the prince, the Duke of Sussex. This is not time to pull that main character syndrome thing, but he's going to do it anyway. And as you can imagine, it's just like he and his courtiers are playing catch up, because I think that meeting caught them off guard. And there's a good chance that whoever leaked it and that they did not intend for Kensington Palace to know anything about it. I'm thinking maybe William would have probably tried to send one of his people to go there God help us if it was that Jason Knopf. Ugh, that would be the worst. He wasn't the he wants the appearance, but wants to punish and abuse. Yeah, it does seem that way. Um, and I wonder if this whole thing of the punishment and the abuse that he's capable of, and in all likelihood has been, you know, exercising. I wonder if this is because he's afraid of the tabloids. I wonder if this is because the invisible contract requires him to, you know, do certain things to look strong and decisive, even though he's also uh, trying to destroy his own son and his grandchildren. I mean, it's just, I'm amazed. I really am. And that's not just a cliche. I'm just amazed at how heartless Charles is. Amazed. You know, he has done this very high class, suave Prince performance for so long, where he speaks without moving his teeth apart. You know, that whole thing that he does, and lean in, and he's waving that big fat nasty finger around and everything. I mean, he's gotten very good at that. He just seems so grandfatherly now. But the truth is, he's just an awful person. Awful. Not only has the stuff he's been doing like totally illogical, and I would just say particularly cruel. Um, it's as though he doesn't think for himself. It's as though he's acting out because that is what is expected of him. It just makes no sense. You don't even live with Camilla. Camilla has her own house. The day of the coronation, they dropped Camilla at her house and Charles went on to Highgrove. He only purchased Highgrove to be close to Camilla. Camilla was let out at Highgrove and then Charles went home on Coronation Day. Of all times, Coronation Day. You have legitimized that horrible woman in the most sacred church in the Church of England, and you don't even go home together? I mean, what's the matter? Are you afraid you're going to be around when she takes that putty knife and start scraping that makeup off? Now, let's take another little trip back in time. King Charles will never get past Prince Harry berating Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, in Spare. And then there's also, what is that? Sacrifice for the crown. King Charles used Prince Harry to make himself look better after Camilla affair scandal, which he did, taking Harry off to Africa. Just so happens that seemed to benefit Harry, but I'm pretty sure that it had nothing to do with Charles trying to help Harry, other than looking like the doting father, something he had probably never done before. But yeah, he tried to look like the very considerate dad and take him out the country and all that and spend some one on one time with him. It was all for the cameras. I wonder how that must feel to Harry to realize that after the fact. King Charles sacrificed Prince Harry to make himself look better. Queen Camilla's Brent admit and spare the Duke of Sussex claimed he was sacrificed on his stepmother's PR altar, but Camilla's friends say Prince Harry was actually sacrificed to generate good press for his father. So this person is blaming Charles, but Harry says otherwise. Harry says otherwise. I'm going to go with Harry. And we do know that that is what I believe it was the book that's what led to the eviction from Frogmore, because Charles had to look like he was doing something. He wanted to punish Harry in front of the nation. What a sick individual. Why Kate Middleton and King Charles' simmering tensions just exploded in public. But wait a minute, wasn't that the daughter that he always wanted? Isn't that the daughter that he only has this one picture of them being that close in the, 15 years she's been in that family? I don't know that I could find another picture of anything as intimate as that between father and daughter-in-law. I don't know that that exists. That's the only one that they share every time. The daughter he always wanted. I wonder if he pictured that daughter not getting up and doing her share of work in that slimmed down monarchy. I mean, look at that. It's just, makes you want to barf. I mean, they really got some mileage out of this moment. Just like it was reported that he and Kate had lunch after Kate was well enough or whatever. I don't believe that. Knowing Charles, there would have to be some kind of photos attached to it. And because we haven't seen it, I am going to just go out on a limb and say it does not exist. And also, I would like to take a look back at this. King Charles is furious at Princess Kate Chelsea Flower Show thunder stealing. So we're supposed to believe that all of a sudden Charles had this sympathy for Kate because of whatever that hospital stay was, in spite of the fact that Kate, time and time again, has upset the apple cart, stolen their thunder. Kate overshadowed Charles with surprise flower show visit. This is how well those two houses get along. There are so many times that Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, Buckingham Palace, they don't know what's coming. They don't know what Will and Kate is doing. They managed to get Kate to the flower show, have her interact with those children. And then, of course, by the time the Queen Consort and Charles arrived, those kids were over it. They've already talked to one of the royals. The reporters, they were over it. They got beautiful pictures that they can print. They don't need Charles and Camilla. And I do believe that that was one of those things that started the war between the two households. See, it's a lot of bad blood, but you have to know where to look for it. I had to go through some of my receipts to find these. So this idea that king and daughter-in-law are so close, I'm not buying it. Kate has provoked those two old pensioners several times over the years. They were particularly angry about this one. Speaking of angry, look at there. You were rude and obnoxious and annoyed everyone sitting in our area with your drunken screaming and shouting. Try laying off the sauce and showing some self-awareness next time you are in public, you vile troll. Oh, well, look who's got a bee in her bonnet. As you know, one of the squatties I guess I don't need to cover up their name anymore. You can see it clearly over there, especially since she responded to it. She says, set behind Camilla Tominey at Wimbledon. Don't worry, Sussex squad. I mentioned I was a Harry and Meghan fan and that she blocked me on Twitter for calling her a wanker. Oh, man. It is just lovely. Why am I enjoying this so much? Well, guess what, you guys? I am going to let you hear Camilla Tominey vent her frustrations about this whole affair. So, in your own words, Camilla Tominey, whenever you are ready.
Chatting away with my husband. And I had...
Oh, let me see. Let me get this set up. Okay, here goes.
I was just chatting away with my husband and I heard this shout of Camilla. So I kind of obviously instinctively turned around. It's not a name you hear that often.
No.
And
could be the Queen. But...
Could have been. And then I turned and I saw this lady. She was like, "Oh, I thought it was you." And I was like, "Oh, hi." So I kind of like leant out my hand to sort of greet her. She was on the row behind. And then she said, "Oh, I'm a Harry and Meghan fan, so I don't know if you'd want to shake my hand. And you blocked me on Twitter for calling you a something beginning with double."
Banker. Yes.
That's it. So I went, "Oh, that's a bit objectionable." And so it kind of like slightly sort of ruined the beginning of me watching this match because I thought,
yes.
"Oh God, there's hostility. I've got hostility towards me on my day off."
Yes.
And let's be honest, just for doing my job. And thought nothing more of it. And then returned home to discover that she had taken a photograph of me and then sort of put it on X with a view to kind of whip up support among her fellow Sussex squatters, which
yes.
is the name we use to describe trolls who criticise people who aren't, you know, slavishly devoted to Harry and Meghan. And it kicked up a bit of a storm.
It did. I mean, there was a lot of support for you because it, regardless of the politics of it, it's a really rude and intrusive thing to do.
I was just chatting away with my husband.
I was just chatting away with my husband. Girl, bye. Well. Somebody got their feelings hurt, didn't they? Someone is fit to be tied because they got called out at one of the social events of the season. I was just sitting there chatting away with my husband. Yeah, well, then you were interrupted by someone who said that they were a Harry and Meghan fan. Now, that person did not say that they were in the Sussex squad. They just said that they were a fan. But she did leave a tweet that was, directed toward the Sussex squad. But either way, I'm just mincing words. It does not matter. Camilla is a horrible person. I will never forgive her for that article that she wrote about the Hub Kitchen that caused so much distress and pain for those ladies that work down there. That was a terrible thing to do. It was a very colonial thing to do. A chip off the old colonizer, are we? So I have no sympathy for her. She is a horrible person. She could have gotten someone hurt really bad with that article that she wrote. Really, really bad. So no sympathy for her. And I suppose she's overdue to say that someone, didn't she have that thing, that rather suspicious accusation that someone threatened her? And she, did we find out that she had a burner account that day? Or something there was something about it that did not seem consistent with some anonymous person making threats against her. Nobody trying to bother you, girl. Somebody like that, you just have to give them the look. Yeah, somebody like that, you have to give them the look. I wish this lady, you know what? You're so right about that. Her husband was there and did not defend her, or whoever that guy was. He didn't want to have somebody step on his fedora. That's what it was. Yep, he was hiding behind his fedora. But yeah, he just sat there like a lump on the log or a bump on the log and did not say anything to protect her. But of course, anybody with a head that big, all she would have had to do was headbutt somebody, and that would have, oh boy, that would have knocked them out cold. And since she did bring it up, I think it's been overdue, don't you all? I think we're a bit overdue for it. So since she brought it up, why don't we, shall we?
Thomas, I wanted to ask you about these vile individuals who refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad.
So I come to my dad's house and start going through it, and I look on YouTube, and my God, I see the Sussex Squad and the Royal Sussex page on YouTube and the things they post, and that's where I found that disgusting video making fun of my father just because he's going to the Jubilee. I mean, and if you look on the Royal Sussex page on YouTube, you're going to see exactly whose it is. It's definitely Meghan Markle. And if it's not her personally, she's definitely paying somebody to do it.
Yep, that was that day they accused me of being Meghan Markle. Now, that is the most delightfully offensive thing that somebody could call me. I will embrace it. I will just have to try to live with it. So, yeah, that is that very chilling look over the shoulder from Camilla Tominey. You just don't hear that name that much. Well, just because nobody ever calls you out, you know, or I'm not even calling you out, but just call you. Since nobody ever talks to you, they try to divert their eyes away so that they won't get stuck in a conversation with you. That doesn't mean that the name is that uncommon. But yeah, she was upset, poor thing. Now, you guys, we have to handle this very sensitively because, well, let me just go on. And I'm saying this with concern. Okay? This is out of concern. That's all. Don't know what to make of it. It's not the first time. There was a bit of this at the Christmas Carol or Royal Carol or whatever they call it. Last year. Now remember, someone just said that they're not that close, right? That they're on the verge of going in opposite directions. I cannot help but think 172 days went by with no confirmed sighting of Kate Middleton, a very wobbly, shaky William, who looked rather disheveled, all things considered. It's the only thing that makes sense. Whether or not there was an illness, it doesn't even matter. But what does matter, as far as the public is concerned, is that these two have hit a rough patch and that they have been using the Sussexes as a shield, as a diversion, a distraction. That matters to me. That matters to me. And as usual, it is the youngest that seem to be caught in the middle of things. Always the youngest. That's why I said I wanted to be very delicate about this, because I don't really have much to say. I can only show. Princess Charlotte had a flood of tears when she saw her dad, Prince William's beard for the first time. And of course, the Sussex squad did what the Royal Rota should have been doing. They asked a question. If you live in the same household, how could it be such a shock for your child to see you fully bearded? You hadn't been out the country. You're not doing some military drills anywhere. As far as we know, you're just hopscotching around the UK in a government-supplied helicopter. So why would that be a shock? During those long periods when they are not working, surely she has seen you with the stubble at least. That's not, I mean, come on, that's not a massive beard. That's just something that you grow in about a week or two or whatever. But whatever the case may be, it's just very interesting that there was a flood of tears upon seeing it for the obvious first time. You see there, that slipped out. That wasn't supposed to be a thing, but the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, well, we keep up with that stuff. As you can see, that's just one of the receipts that I hang on to whenever I feel like I need to try to make a point and I want to, have some kind of way to support my theories that there has been trouble in paradise. And then, of course, Martin from the Ministry of Hacks at the time spoke about the Christmas Carol night, where the kids just seemed different from what you would expect from children. And if there is nothing to this, right? If there's nothing to it, then let me say this. If that is what being in that family requires, it's time to end generational requirements. I'm not going to say that it's pain or suffering, because I don't know. But maybe it's time to end that generational requirement, because it just looks strange. This doesn't look like a celebration. It looks like a funeral. It looks like a funeral. None of this is any of my business, but it just looks like a funeral. And this particular day, this one haunts me because you could just hear the cameras. You just hear cameras. And obviously the young man was not doing well. There's a wall of cameras in front of them. We don't see it. And as you can see, I'm going to give William and Kate credit for trying to comfort them for this required photo op. Uncharacteristically, there's one looking nervous, She usually doesn't. The other one, I mean, body language, feet turned in, everything. It was sad. It was sad. I could not sleep that night thinking about this, and maybe I'm completely wrong. But you know who's not going to protect them? Those royal reporters. They're not going to protect those kids. They are the ones that are encouraging these outings, and they want more of it. Because harassing the Sussexes is only going to go so far. But the tabloids are going to demand their pound of flesh. They're going to demand it. They are going to demand compensation for all of the favorable columns that have been written to benefit the recipients, the benefactors of the invisible contract. Isn't that what Harry spoke about? That it just continues into the next generation. This is actually one of the things that he was hoping to avoid, not just for his kids, but for everybody's children, that they don't have to go through what he and his brother went through. It's a new dawn, a new day. So there's more people out there trying to make a living with their cameras. And despite whatever laws or rules or bargains that are supposed to protect them, we all know that's only going to last for so long. And the public has been so conditioned to accept that intrusion to someone else's privacy, including children. Most of them are not going to say anything. If anything, just keep them coming. We want to see more pictures. Kate Middleton's confidant kept Meghan Markle at arm's length, says source. Zandy Sussex says it was all Natasha Archer's fault, apparently. Kate lying that Meg made her cry. William bullying the Sussexes leaving the viper's nest. All Natasha's fault. Loyalty is a one-way street in the Waleses' household. Oh, you know what? Let me see. I think I have that. Let me see if I have that. Let me see. Since you brought that up, what is it? Zubaydah Ali, since you brought that up, that young boy with the crutch looked happier compared to Prince George, who looks disgusted when he looked at him. That was odd. And like I said, I'm trying to be as delicate as possible because, I believe that all these children deserve to be protected, whether it's the kid with the crutches, whether it's George and Charlotte, or whoever. They all deserve to be protected from all of this nonsense. So let me see if I can cue that up, and then we'll discuss it on the other side. But yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. So I wasn't sure whether or not to share it, but what the hell? Okay. Let me take this away. Now I'm going to have to do this without the sound because someone added some music to it. So it's going to be necessary for me to do this without the sound. Okay. Okay, now that was one. That was one. This is not the kid with the crutches. But I want you guys to take a good look at this. I mean, oh my God, this makes me sad. They do not want to be there. One in particular, they do not want to be there. They do not want to be there. It's given me Christmas Carol all over again. At a certain point, they relax and actually do laugh and everything, but it seems to be the entrance and the exit, the receiving line, those one-on-ones, that seems to cause particular discomfort for them, from what I can tell. Okay, so again, I had to do something about that sound. Jesus Christ. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But that makes me sad. And I'm sad for the kid with the crutches. And he's the only one that seems to be in good temper. And usually, Charlotte is usually as cool as a cucumber. And Diana made sure that Harry and his brother did not have these awkward incidents like this. That did not happen for them. And you know why? Because she took them out of the palace, took them out of the private schools, and all of the away from all of the aristocratic people, and she made them go and see the real world outside. Diana did that. And I don't recall any kind of awkwardness like this. And that is what's so important about the Invictus Games. That's why the Invictus Games is so important, because oh wait, where am I at here? I am trying. Oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is why the Invictus Games are so important. The children that go to the Invictus Game, they have a chance to see soldiers, veterans, that have suffered some of the worst possible injuries, and yet they're still alive. They have been burned, they have been maimed and injured in ways that is hard to believe, and yet they survived. And it takes time, to make that happen. Not a long time, but you have to put the effort for it. I don't know what to think about that. Now, to be fair, it is just a small portion of a much longer day, I'm sure. But thank you, Zabeda. That's what Zabeda was speaking about. Let me see. I felt so sad. But the boy with the special needs is 10 times better than those. Well, I mean, I don't want to say that, but he's had a different experience for sure. He's had a different experience. These kids just need to be exposed to more. They just need to be exposed to more. Diana did a fantastic job of making sure that Harry and his brother knew what was happening in the world outside. It's kind of hard to believe that the way that William moves about the world nowadays. He seems to have forgotten a lot. He does a lot of play acting, but I think he's forgotten a lot. But yeah, that's oh my God. Anyway, you know, if it bothers them that we're having this conversation, don't get mad. Do something about it. Don't even get mad. Just do something about it, because there's something wrong there. There's something wrong. And if we can spend time speculating about the Sussex's marriage, I feel it's only fair to spend as much time as it takes to speculate about the Wells's marriage. What's left of it. So that is where we left off, was right there. Thank you again, Zabeda. I just about forgot about that. Let me see here. Where is that at? So yeah, it says here, Prince Harry's alleged fallout with Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, and Prince William reportedly happened due to Natasha Archer. The latter was the aide of Princess of Wales and had recently quit her job with royals. According to a source, Middleton's confidant was the wall between the two brothers. According to a source. What source is that, pray tell? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were reportedly relieved with the departure. Well, there's been other departures that came as a relief, and yet nothing changed. Why would this be any different? Kate Middleton's aide was the blocker, claims source. Kate Middleton's aide, Natasha Archer, has made her exit from the royal job after 15 years. While the Princess of Wales was devastated by her departure, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were reportedly feeling the opposite. As the Rob Shutters Substack update, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex celebrated Archer's royal exit in private. The former assistant had reportedly created a rift between Prince Harry and his brother, Prince William. Hence, Markle and her husband blamed Middleton's aide for everything, a source told the outlet. They blamed her for everything. Oh, really? She was the buffer, the blocker, the person who kept Meghan at arm's length and fed William doubt about Harry. Why would she be talking to William? The insider said, referring to the exit as karma, the source added, they waited years for cracks in the palace walls, and this is the first one. Meanwhile, a peace talk was conducted last week between the aides of Prince Harry and King Charles III. Although the meeting was held to patch things up between father and son duo, Prince William's absence raised eyebrows. The news came after speculations around the Duke's role in the monarch's funeral plan were sparked. Sources claim that he and his wife would get an invitation, but would allegedly not be allowed to sit with other royals. I cannot see how that would be a sacrifice. I'd be glad if, I would sit up in the rafters if I didn't have to sit with the likes of them. Reportedly, King Charles has sent the rule as a message to his youngest son, stating that he's out of the inner circle. A few days ago, people witnessed another snub from the royal family against Prince Harry in a heartfelt speech at the Grand State Banquet at Windsor Castle for the French President Emmanuel Macron, the king skipped his second child's name while toasting his eldest. So, well, I tell you what. By the way, speaking of Macron, that's my French accent. Macron. Happy Bastille Day, right? Isn't it Bastille Day? Or it was. Let me see here. Bastille Day. Yes, it was Bastille Day. I'm so sorry I did not mention that earlier. French National Day is anniversary of the storming of the Bastille on the 14th of July, 1789, a major event of the French Revolution, as well as the Fête de la Fédération that celebrated the unity of the French people on the 14th of July, 1790. Celebrations are held throughout France. Right, there you go. So, happy Bastille Day. Yeah, I forgot the rest. Okay. So Lex says, so Mean Girl Kate is sinking another female friend. Absolutely. If you can call them friends. I'm pretty sure that there wasn't much hanging out with the two of them ever. Not even behind closed doors. I couldn't imagine it. But yes, Kate, the mean girl, has done another one in. Absolutely. Kate doesn't do anything without consent of her husband. I tell you, they have to be quite wicked behind closed doors. Oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. A.N. Wilson, William and Kate would probably be glad to never see Harry and Meghan again, but this is why they must make peace with the Sussexes and the disastrous consequences I foresee if they do not. Well, that's their personal choice, and that is if the Sussexes wants to be bothered with them at all, okay? Because there's been too much said and there's been too much done. But Harry does not want to, he doesn't want this anymore. He has already forgiven them and he's ready to move on. So, caller on British TV, this is according to Glow, have free reign to call in and make all kinds of unsubstantiated, nasty claims about Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan Sussex. This is welcome. But here is a presenter panicking, shutting down, and literally hanging up on caller who said with examples that Prince Harry can't trust King Charles for briefing against him, and that Camilla made the racist skin color comment about Meghan's unborn child. So let's take a listen to that, and we'll talk on the other side. Okay. Here goes. Uh-oh. How did I miss that again? Okay, one more time. Here goes. Oh, no, that's wrong. Let me turn this on. It'll sound better.
And hello, thank you so much for ringing. How do you feel about this?
I think that your question infers that Harry's responsible for everything that's negative in the relationship. And I don't think that's fair. And as for the briefings, with the Fab Four, when they looked on camera, I know because I've got a friend in one of the palaces
Yes.
that, in fact, Camilla and Charles were briefing against the Fab Four because they were getting more publicity than Camilla and Charles. And in fact, most people in the royal household know that when Meghan said that someone made a racist comment, it was Camilla. They know it was Camilla.
Obviously, you're asserting that we've got no way whatsoever of proving that. And I think it's been heavily suggested that it wasn't Camilla at all, but certainly your sources have told you that, but we can't confirm or deny that. But you think, do you, that Harry needs to worry about trusting his father rather than the other way around? Is that how you feel about it?
I think they brief about everything. I mean, his father did Dimbleby. His uncle Edward sold pictures of William at university when he was not supposed to.
I think you've got a whole lot of information. I think that isn't in the public domain. Just so you don't get yourself or anyone else into trouble, I think we may have to say a very cordial farewell. And thank you so much for ringing back. I mean, I can't confirm, corroborate any of that stuff, I'm afraid. Or maybe I'm glad I can't, because I can't. Let's go to Sue in Middlesbrough.
Oh, boy. Talk about exit stage left. She got out of that one quick. And yes, it's true. Edward did go to university. And even though there was an agreement with the tabloid media that they would not take any pictures of William, Edward, who was trying to get his television production company off the ground, was making stuff that was so boring that eventually he decided to turn to his family for material and went to the university and filmed William for the benefit of his company when it had been agreed that the media would stay away from the school. So that is true. There's no misinformation there. And also the part about the leaking and the briefing from Buckingham Palace or Clarence House and even KP, Harry has said very clearly that has been the source of the leaking and the briefing. I believe Harry. I trust Harry's word that is exactly the source. And we also know why that happened, because they were trying to sacrifice him on Camilla's altar of PR. So that is also true. The whole thing about Harry going to the drug rehab, that made the papers because they were trying to make Charles look like the doting, considerate father, because so many people were still at odds with him and hostile toward him because of the way he and that wretched bag of bones Camilla, the way they treated Diana. None of that is made up. That is commonly known. So Vanessa is fighting desperately to keep her job, and that's understandable, but that is the truth. All of that was the truth. Not one bit of it was made up. Okay, we're almost done, you guys. Now, which is it? William and Kate were probably aware of Harry's peace summit, but won't be as keen as King to reconcile differences? Or Prince William unaware of the Sussex crunch talk between King and Harry? So which is right? They knew about it and they're not keen about it, or they didn't know about it and they were none the wiser. Now, which is true? Because these contradict each other. Are you going to go with the Daily Mail? Are you going to go with the GB News? Now, the Daily Mail, you know what? I wonder who wrote that article. That sounds like a Rebecca English. That sounds like a Rebecca English. It would take Rebecca English to write something like that, because she's always trying to big William up and make him seem like he's intelligent and resourceful, when we all know that nothing could be further from the truth. Yep, that sounds like the work of Big Head Becky. Well, she didn't post it on her Twitter, so I'm thinking she didn't write it. But it sounds like her. She probably told somebody else to write it. If it wasn't her, she instructed someone to write it. Yep, I believe that. Okay, well, I can't prove it right now, but I'm reasonably certain that that was Big Head Becky with those big heads and those big arms. And I think now she's on the verge of being able to cross her legs, I think. Now she's on the verge of crossing her legs without kicking over the coffee table. You know how many times she has kicked the coffee table clear out of the living room and onto the street outside because she tried to cross her legs, and all that tension and pressure caused that leg to just pop out and kick that coffee table clear down the street? How many times traffic has been brought to a halt? Because of an unidentified flying coffee table? That has happened, sir. But no more, because she's thin now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to save that for tomorrow. This is interesting because we were just talking about this. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. Let me put that in the basket. Oh, I just got one more thing, you guys, and then we're done. I don't know what the heck this is about. From heiress to maniac? I mean, what is this about? Now, she kind of reminds me of Angelina Jolie. She kind of puts me in mind of Angelina Jolie. But what in the world happened? And of course, if you look at Margaret and the Queen and Constance's grandmother, why do I got the feeling that they're about to do a Nazi salute? Huh? Why is it every time I see those young pictures of Margaret and Lizzie, I'm waiting for their hands to go straight up? Oh man. Yep, I keep thinking that their hands are going to go up. Do you see it? Do you see? It looks like one of the pinkies just twitched. They can't wait to put them hands up. Just like their uncle and mama and daddy. Even the Queen mother was out there doing it. That is so tacky, isn't it? Those are some tacky people. Oh, here it is right here. It says the lady and the, oh, you know what? This is behind a paywall. That's okay. That ain't going to stop me. We know how to get past the paywall. I tell you, the day this stopped working, it's going to be trouble. So, yeah, once again, you guys, this is the last thing I have. I am done for the day. So if you need to take off, feel free to stop by and see us tomorrow. I don't have any errands tomorrow. At least I don't think so. So I think I'll be on much earlier than today. Anyway, I'm going to do my best. So maybe I'll see you guys in the afternoon. Maybe. Okay, so from lady to a tramp. Wow, they don't mince words, do they? Oh my goodness, I don't even know if I could say that. Was worth 2.4 million and was once named a Tatler Babe of the Month, but she ended up scavenging from bins after estrangement from her family. Really? You know what? I think I'm gonna leave this one alone because this has something to do with infants. So I think I'm done with this one. Yeah. Oh, what a tawdry story. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. Too many nightmares. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, just leaves too big of an impression. So, with that, you guys, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much. And yeah, I just kind of saw that one last minute. Oh, and good luck to you, Natasha Archer. You're going to need it. Okay, hour and a half, not bad. Love you guys. I will see you next time. And by the way, thank you, moderators. Ooh, some of the stuff from what do you call that? From the Amazon, what is it? The Prime Days? I got some of my Prime Day stuff today. I was so happy I didn't know which way to turn. And you know, the funny thing is, I always say, by the time I get it, I forgot what I ordered. Although I did have to order another hand vac because I use it all the time, and I unfortunately trashed the old one. I got tape holding it together, so I had to get one. So anyway, I can't wait to use it. I've been letting it charge all this time. All right. Good night, you all. Cookies and Cream says, everyone, please stay safe, pray, don't peg, and always hydrate. Cherry Traveler, good night to you too. Oh, I see, Cherry Traveler. Well, thanks for thinking about us. Oh, thank you, Zabeda. I will do my best. You know, the other day, what was that? I said that Charles may be going through this exercise just so he could say, oh, well, I tried. And then at the last minute, just pull out or just do like a Kate Middleton. Just say that you are trying to find balance or you're trying to recalibrate. You know what I'm saying? This might be a classic stitch up where he's going to pretend like he tried to make peace, but in the 11th hour, everything fell apart. You cannot trust Charles. Charlie Windsor is a fink. Yeah, Charlie Windsor is a fink, and you just cannot trust him. You certainly cannot trust Camilla. But Charlie is particularly awful because number one, he's in the most powerful position that just about anybody can be in. And number two, he doesn't seem to have morals. He doesn't have any scruples. It seems as though he has sold out his own children. Anybody who would strip security away from their child, their daughter-in-law, and their grandchildren cannot be trusted. He's an awful person. And I hope that when his time comes, everybody will find something else better to do than to sit up and try to reflect about how he lived his life for others and did service and everything. Charity really does start in the home, especially for someone so powerful, someone who can pull the strings of power, affect the way the government treats people, including his son. You know what I'm saying? He has an unfair disadvantage. I mean, he has an unfair advantage when it comes to everyone around him. And the way he did his poor mother, stripping her of all of her power toward the end of her life. She make a request. He just say, "Oh, don't pay any attention to that. She'll be gone soon," or whatever he said. What an awful person. Okay, good night.